Oh, nice. Welcome back, everybody. I want to give a big shout out to Fulton and Roark. They are a fine fragrance company that sent me a little care package in the mail for me to review. Just a little disclaimer, they did provide all of these free of charge to me, but I did tell them that I was going to give an honest review, whether or not I liked or disliked any of the fragrances, and I feel like the most authentic way to give you, the audience, my honest, true opinion is to just blind react to everything they sent me. Let's see a little bit about the company. They sent me some good info. All right, Fulton Roark, American Fine Fragrance, our story. While we love and admire the histories and creations that come from the Parisian Masons, we're set out to do something entirely different, something uniquely our own, and we call that ambition American Fine Fragrance. At Fulton and Roark, we seek out the best ingredients available in the world, and we take care to source them safely and responsibly. The fragrances also meet IFRA regulations, the International Fragrance Association. So they appear to be heavily focused on sourcing high quality ingredients in sustainable ways, which is very admirable. Packaging is very, very nice. Calle Ocho has a little sleeve on the outside that tells the story of what the fragrance is like and where it's supposed to be inspired from. And I assume that there's the same for all 15 of these small little samples. I took a look online at Fulton and Roark's pricing and whatnot. I want to say this entire packaging that they sent me here would have cost almost $300, so definitely not a cheap product, and it definitely, wasn't nothing for them to send this all to me. So again, thanks Fulton and Roark. Let's get into reviewing some of the fragrances. All right, we'll start with Calle Ocho. Top notes of cinnamon, rum, and bitter chocolate. Mid notes of jasmine, tobacco. Base notes tonka bean, sandalwood, and musk. Oh, that's fire. Immediately, that is fire. It instantly reminds me of Infrared by Spice Bomb. And I think that's probably due to the cinnamon in the opening. Wow, this is fantastic. It's spicy, it's sexy, it's masculine. That is the one thing I was kind of worried. I was worried that these fragrances would all be very unisex and they wouldn't have a whole lot of personality to them. I know a lot of people are kind of in this space where we're not sure if we even want to classify fragrances as masculine or feminine anymore at all. Me personally, I do like a really masculine smelling fragrance. This definitely meets the mark there. I am really looking forward to wearing it. Let's take a look at what this full-size bottle looks like. It's a 1.7 fluid ounce. Extrait de Parfum. Give myself a little spray here. Nice atomizer. Fantastic. Lovely. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, I think first we'll go with a fragrance called Devil's Garden. On the little decant, it says incense, vetiver, and cardamom, but on the little info sheet they gave me, I see there's also notes of juniper berry, bergamot, syntrax, violet, spiced lily, amber, forest moss, vetiver root, and patchouli. So very complex fragrances with a whole bunch of different notes. This is Devil's Garden. Yeah, this is very, incense definitely. Incense is very smoky. It's very masculine. It's masculine, it's earthy, it's smoky, it's fantastic. It says it smells like the dark and mysterious type, and I would definitely agree. Incense is the best way to put it, with a little bit of earthiness, smokiness to it. A very familiar kind of scent profile, I must say. Next we'll go Highway 190. Highway 190, on the bottle we see Desert Wind, Freesia, and Myrrh. This is supposed to be inspired by the awe-inspiring views of Death Valley. Okay, this is definitely leaning more feminine, but this is really good. Man, this is really reminding me of like some of the fragrances I smelled in the Game of Spades line. This is one I'm definitely gonna be giving to the lady. Just through smelling these first two, I'm already picking up on the high quality ingredients. You can really tell, I'm really impressed with the way that all of these smell so far. All right, next is Mahana. Mahana is inspired by the hike to Papacolia, a green sand beach near the southernmost point of the big island of Hawaii. On the decant, I see pomelo, coriander, green leaves, but also I'm seeing pomelo, white musk, birch leaf, and cedar notes in this fragrance. Let's give it a shot. This is Mahana. This is really good. This is very citrusy, beachy. I don't really get the white musk in the top note that's listed. It really just smells like a super fresh, citrusy, almost like a hand soapy type of vibe. I would say if you took like Parfum's Marley Greenly and you shifted it a little bit more feminine and made it a little bit brighter, that's kind of what I'm feeling like this is. Mahana, fantastic. All right, next we're going Matia. Smells like the smartest person in the room. Notes of salt, geranium, and black amber, also getting top notes of cardamom, ginger blossom, some carrot seed, saffron, geranium, violet, patchouli, leather, black, amber. This is Matia. This is inspired by a small island that is in the part of Washington's state San Juan Islands. I mean, really, really fascinating that they're going into the level of detail with a specific location in addition to all of the notes that are going to represent that location. Really, really well done attention to detail here in addition to quality of fragrance. Let's give Matia a little sample. Matia. See, I'm just smelling peach. Super complex. Peach was kind of the first note I got, but I actually don't think it's peach. It's really just the kind of complex scent profile of this. There's so many different notes in it. Another one I think leans a little bit feminine, but another just super fantastic fragrance. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit skeptical when I first started looking at these based on just kind of the price point. And I've seen a lot of brands that are in this price point put out some stuff that I honestly felt like was just generic in a lot of ways. Unisex, very limited personality. So far, I mean, granted, I've only sampled 5. These are all fantastic, and this is my true, honest opinion. Like, I'm really, really impressed with the product here. All right, next we're gonna do Palmetto. Palmetto has Brazilian pepper, cedarwood, and magnolia, but on the sheet that they've sent me, this smells like a champagne toast late on a summer night with pink pepper, grapefruit, magnolia flower, neroli, cedarwood, and incense. Palmetto is inspired by Palmetto Island, named from the abundance of dwarf palmetto trees scattered throughout the park. This complex scent is both warm and welcoming while carrying an air of mystery. Palmetto. Girl smell. Also very similar to a lot of fragrances I've smelled in the Game of Spades line as well. Really getting the pink pepper, the incense, the cedarwood in this fragrance. I think this leans a little bit feminine, but just super fresh. Very organic smelling. That would say, that has been the theme so far, is the attention to detail with the quality ingredients, really trying to smell like an organic product rather than like a synthetic designer fragrance. I think these are all meant to smell, I guess organic is the word, but another just fantastic fragrance, done incredibly well. Next is Perpetua. On the bottle we see Atlas Cedar, Neroli, and Amber. This smells like, according to their guide, an elegant balance of florals and woods. Perpetua is inspired in a heavily forested area on the coast of Oregon called Cape Perpetua. The fragrance is a fresh and inviting blend that is somehow also sturdy and complex. Top notes neroli, lemon, mid notes amber, jasmine, base notes coumarin, yeah, cedarwood, and cedarwood. This is Perpetua. This is lovely. This is fantastic. Wow, this is probably my favorite so far. I think it leans unisex, but it's sometimes when I smell unisex fragrances, I feel like there's unisex, but I feel like a male or a female would be more likely to reach for this. I feel like this is pretty in the middle, but I don't think men are gonna have a problem reaching for this at all. It has that aquatic, but sweet and fresh type of feel. Imagine like an out of the shower scent, but much more natural and organic and earthy in a type of way. A lot of these fragrances have a lot of different notes going on, so it's hard to smell something and be like, oh, this smells like this. You know, they're very, very complex fragrances. Next is Ramble. On the fragrance, it says forest air, lavender, lemon rind. Ramble smells like an autumn walk through Central Park. Ramble is inspired in a forever wild area of Central Park in New York City. The fragrance embodies the perfect union of societal sophistication and natural beauty. I'm judging by the green color of this that this is gonna be leafy and green and masculine. Maybe something similar to my all-time favorite fragrance, Polo Green. This is Ramble by Fulton and Roark. Damn, wow. Yeah, like sweet, it's a very sweet green. To me, I thought Parfums de Marly Greenly was an overrated fragrance. When I smelled it, I was like, okay, this smells like every generic green hand soap that you would ever buy at Bath & Body Works. This right here is a sweet, fresh green fragrance. Complex, done incredibly well. Yeah, I think I'll be purchasing a bottle of this, I'm not gonna lie. If you like a green fragrance, this to me is incredible. All right, next we're gonna go with Sterling, tobacco, leather, vanilla. Smells like sophistication without a hint of pretense. Sterling is our homage to the rich and complex fragrance that is tobacco. The fragrance was named for Mount Sterling in the Western Mountains of North Carolina. Top notes bergamot, white musk, mid notes tobacco, amber, base notes leather and vanilla. This was in contention of one of the ones I was considering telling them to give me a full-size bottle of because I don't have a leather or a tobacco-based fragrance right now in my collection. And let's see if I regretted my decision. This is Sterling by Fulton and Roark. It's sweeter than I thought. That vanilla is more present than the tobacco, at least off the strip of paper right here. I'm immediately going straight to the vanilla and the leather in the fragrance. I'm not really smelling a lot of the top notes or the mid notes. I'm smelling the leather, vanilla, pretty much 50-50. Very, very simple, but very, very well done. It doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell bad. The tobacco and the amber are a little bit understated for me right now. Very, very heavy leather, vanilla, but fantastic quality. Very sophisticated, very masculine. Definitely something that I could see like a very classy gentleman drinking like a scotch at a tobacco bar. Like that's what this is giving. It's giving me late night, I'm gonna order a Manhattan or an old fashioned and smoke my cigar at the bar in a very dimly lit type of location. I don't know. It's funny, the vanilla hit me first, but the more I'm smelling it now off the strip, I'm getting a lot of leather. So yeah, if you're into leather and this line's intriguing to you, then this may be your go-to. All right, next is Thousand Palms. Tuberose, petitgrain, patchouli. Thousand Palms smells like a brilliant green oasis full of life. In the midst of the Mojave Desert lies the Thousand Palms oasis, and the inspiration for this fragrance. This scent is meant to call to mind the feeling of elation when seeing life spring forth in the midst of the desert. Wow. A brilliant green oasis full of life. This is Thousand Palms by Fulton and Roark. Let's give it a go. It is very complex. I feel like this is really, really strong. It is giving that, the description is matching what I'm getting from it here. It's reminding me of like a fresh, I'm imagining like a cucumber gin cocktail. Something that's just kind of like refreshing and citrusy with maybe a little bit of like ginger. And I know none of these notes are in the fragrance right now, but it's very, very refreshing is how I would describe it. If this is meant to be like a green oasis in the middle of the desert, which literally that is what the description is, it definitely captures the essence of just an incredibly refreshing scent profile. Not particularly feminine, in my opinion. Pretty spot on unisex, but I think the fellas will enjoy this one as well. I don't think this is one of those fragrances that's unisex that, that mainly women would reach for. I feel like we see that quite often. I know I've already said that in this video, but again, I feel like the fellas would love this one. Thousand Palms, honestly fantastic. I don't think we've had a single miss in the entire collection so far. And I promise you this is my genuine reaction. All right, next we have Cloudland. Fresh Rain and Cashmere is all that we have on the actual bottle, but some of the other notes are citrus jest, transparent jasmine, jasmine sunback, ylang ylang, Ylang ylang. I don't know if that's lang lang yang yang. I have no idea. I know I'm butchering a lot of these notes. Cashmere, ambrox, skin musks, moss, crystals. This smells like a summer rainstorm in the forest. Cloudland was inspired by a romantic hike through the North Georgia mountains that was interrupted by a summer rain shower. This scent is a reflection on human intimacy and the beauty of the unexpected in nature. Interesting. This reminds me of one of the Maison Margiela replica fragrances. I think there's like When the Rain Stops, When the Rain Falls, or Cashmere Rain. I feel like there is a fragrance in that line. I'm not sure which one specifically. That is exactly what this is reminding me of right now. It is fantastic. The description absolutely matches the scent profile. It smells clean. It smells like rainfall came and washed everything away, and everything is just clean. And I feel like I sound like an idiot describing some of these things, but I genuinely do believe that the scent matches the description here. All right, I don't have any more descriptions in the booklet they provided me for these last 4, but we're just gonna give them a go based on what we've got. I think these are probably some of their newer ones. This one is Roark's Cove. On the fragrance, we're seeing oak, tree moss, and cloudberry. Roark's Cove. I think this is the one they're really pushing right now. A clean, fresh, woody scent profile. I can't figure out which one this is reminding me of, but honestly, it's another standout. It's hard for me to kind of maintain just the level of enthusiasm as we've reviewed like 20 plus fragrances here in this video. But another one I would just really, really highly recommend. Just a very clean, it's woody, it's sweet. I can't tell if it's reminding me of like a JPG fragrance here. It's a bit sweet, I would say. This one is a bit more on the sweeter side than I would say the rest of them, in my opinion. All right, this one looks a little bit different than the rest. This is 226 Club, so orange bitters and tonic. So I feel like this is gonna be like an orange twist on like, I don't know. When I see tonic, I think gin and tonic. It's my favorite cocktail, so I'm guessing that's kind of where this is gonna go. I'm guessing this is gonna go in like an orangey, maybe something more like a Louis Vuitton type of fragrance, type of scent profile. Okay, no, this is another one that's reminding me very much of some of the fragrances I smell when I smell the Game of Spades set line. There's a certain fragrance in the Game of Spades line, I'm not sure exactly which one it is, that has the orange forward scent profile. It was one of my favorites of them, and if you are into an orange fragrance, I've never smelled any of the Louis Vuittons that are supposed to be very, very orange, luxurious orange fragrances. This matches that. This is in line with that, I would assume. What is it? It's not Pacific Chill. What is the other? There's a Louis Vuitton that's supposed to just be straight orange. I would guess this is kind of in line with where that's going. This is fantastic. Orange bitters and tonic. I would be curious to wear that one on skin because I've worn some other fragrances that I thought were very orange forward, and they actually became very cloying. And instead of being this fresh, aromatic, fruity, citrusy fragrance, it ended up just being very cloying, in fact, which I thought was kind of like interesting for what it was, but we'll have to give it one a test on skin and find out for sure. The next one we have is The Window. Lavandin, Gravel Ghost, and Ironwood. I have no idea what any of those notes are, but let's give it a go. I think my nose is like exhausted after smelling all these. It's so complex. It's so complex. Another one that's like, it's unisex. I'm not sure if I would put this in the masculine or feminine category. This one has like a mystique to it almost, a mystery to me. It's very complex. It's very high quality. It's very mysterious. It's a scent profile that I can't say I've ever even smelled before. I can't even really put my thumb on what this smells like, and I don't recognize any of the notes on this fragrance, and don't take my confusion to mean that I think this is bad. It's one of those fragrances that's very alluring. I'm almost like I'm trying to figure out what it is. I can't tell if there's like a little bit of leather hidden in there. This has gotta be one that's similar to some of these other ones that's just got a million different notes in it. The Window by Fulton Roark. Super intriguing one of the line. This is like, to me, the wild card of them all. Interesting. And all right, last but not least, thanks for hanging with me. This is Ghost Trees. I think this is one of their newer releases. Sea Spray, Juniper, and Cypress. Another very similar aquatic, salty. To me, this reminds me of like almost like a better version of Club de Nuit Sillage, which I know is supposed to be a dupe of Silver Mountain water, I believe. Either Silver Mountain water or Virgin Island water. I honestly don't know. I'm not like the biggest Creed expert in the world. But it's almost like that sea salty, oceanic, blue, green, soapy, fresh. Hint of citrus in there too. Definitely picking up the sea spray, the juniper, the cypress. I mean, immediately based on the notes that are written on the bottle here. Another fantastic option. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely getting pretty nose fatigued during the filming of this video from smelling so many fragrances back to back, but after taking a little bit more time to familiarize myself with the fragrances, I wanna double down on my position that these fragrances are truly of high quality. I've had so many bottles of fragrance come in and out of my collection over the last few months because I really love to trade my fragrances online in order to try out as many new ones as I can in an economical way. The quality of the juice of Fulton Roark fragrances is on par with fragrances of similar price categories. The few niche brands that I have tested being Initio, Parfums de Marly, and Tom Ford. I think the quality stands recognizably above some of the designer brands that I've tried, such as Dior, Viktor & Rolf, and Gucci. The entire Fulton Roark line is full of complex, interesting scent profiles with a clear inspiration and intentionality. The company is clearly dedicated in using high quality ingredients, and this translates to the quality and performance of the fragrances. In my opinion, that justifies the price point here for me. You aren't paying for the brand tags here, you are actually just getting an incredibly high quality product. That being said, $200 is a lot of money to spend on a fragrance, so don't be financially irresponsible if you don't have the means to be spending that much on a single fragrance. This hobby is a luxury, and just like watches, sneakers, or luxury cars, it's totally valid to appreciate the artistry, the quality, or even the worth of certain items. But just because I'm telling you that I think the fragrance is worth $200 doesn't mean that it's smart to go and buy it if it stretches your budget or puts you behind on more important financial goals. I found online that Fulton Roark do offer a solid cologne option for a lot of their fragrances that only runs $65, so this could be a great choice if you can't justify the $200 price tag on the Extrait de Parfums. I talk a lot about critical thinking and decision making on this channel, and I always stress the importance of being financially responsible, so I'd be amiss not to mention this in a video where I'm appreciating the quality of a $200 bottle of smelly water. But I genuinely do have an appreciation for the quality that Fulton Roark are providing here, and I want to thank them one last time for the opportunity to review their products. All in all, there are 15 fragrances that we sampled here, and every single one of them was impressive. I would say my standouts would have to be, all right, the four that I'm gonna pick out from here that were my standout favorites just based on my first impression. The first one was actually the first one I smelled, Devil's Garden. I thought this was really, really fantastic and unique compared to some of the other ones that I've smelled. The next one was Mahana, super clean, super versatile, inoffensive, and absolutely fantastic. The next would be Roark's Cove. I would put it in the same kind of category with just a little bit more woodsiness to it that I really, really enjoy. And last, I would say this is probably my #1 favorite of all of them is Ramble, Forest Air Lavender Lemon Rind. I'm a huge fan of green fragrances, and yeah, I think Ramble is an absolute freaking hit. I would say most of these are pretty down the middle, unisex. A handful of them lean feminine, a handful of them lean masculine. So you do have quite a good variety of what you're looking for here. No matter what you're looking to get out of a fragrance, there absolutely is a good choice for you in this line. This was absolutely a breath of fresh air to get to try some really, really good high quality fragrances. I wanna give a big thank you to Fulton Roark for sending this to me. Make sure you go check them out. Go check out their website and see what they're all about. I'm really, really impressed. There's definitely a couple of fragrances on here that I'm looking to either buy for myself or maybe buy for someone else as a gift. And I'm sure my girlfriend is going to really, really appreciate the feminine leaning decants that we have here. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it all the way through this video, check out some of my other fragrance related content that I have on this channel, as well as some of the other content that I make about decision making and critical thinking. Thank you so much for watching all the way. Have a good one.